People will only pay to solve their pain, and they don't actually care about your solution. So that means that people will only pay for solving problems, and they don't actually care how fancy or how crazy your solution is to help solve, whatever your app is. So this is the first thing. This is day one of my 100K challenge, and this is a live stream. So you're watching this as part of a live stream, and big shout outs to everyone who's showing up in the comments right now. And I'm gonna go over the first big mistake that founders do, like me, is to like literally build things, and I care so much about product, especially coming from a product company for where I used to work for, is that fact that that may not actually be to my advantage. The first advantage that I'm learning with this book called Lean Startup is to focus on the problem and not the actual solution. So we're going to take a look at that today through my live stream, and we're going to just do this like interactive demo here. So I've started reading this book called Lean Startup, and what we're going to cover today is like why customers don't care about our product, and also kind of go over like what my app is and what we're doing for this challenge. So for those who aren't familiar, starting the 100K challenge inspired by Pat Wells. And so his goal is to make his first $100,000 online. Same thing with me. I've never made money as an entrepreneur. So this is my first time going with this. So you're watching day one and you get to participate. So I'm going to be doing live streams. I'm going to be doing vlogs and everything. So make sure you comment and like below. If you have any questions, definitely join in and start to participate. So I'm going to show you what it looks like day one. I have like actually going to use my existing app called Ray Transcribes. So I'm going to show you a little bit about that. We're going to go over a little bit about kind of a game plan. And then we're going to see if I can get my first like couple of customers to, I have a couple paying customers, but I want to go ahead and grow that to something a little bit much larger. And I'm going to show you some of the approaches that we were doing and some of the tooling that we're going to be using as well. So we're going to be doing quite a bit of stuff as far as like all these types of things. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit crazy. So the North Star here is that people only pay for their pain, to solve their pain and not admire your solution. This comes from this thing called the Lean Startup. And the Lean Startup is actually from this book that someone recommended to me that I read. And it's literally the first chapter. And it's like, I've gotten so much information. It's like, bro, we got to keep rolling with this because this is actually on fire right now. So if you want to check it out, it's called The Lean Startup by Eric Ries. And there's some really, really solid interviews from his, if you just go YouTube this guy, it's really, really quite incredible. If you want to follow along, I'm going to have these notes available on my blog at Fernando.ai. So all you have to do is, if you're watching this right now, just go ahead and scan this. Oh, this QR code got cut off. Okay. All you have to do is just scan this QR code right now if you're watching this on a TV, and this should basically open up right up to my blog post. Other than that, you can just go to rayfernando.ai. And from rayfernando.ai, you should be able to see this blog post. And this basically is going to outline everything we're going to talk about on the stream. I have a table of contents here on the side, so you can go ahead and follow along with like step 1, step 2. And these are resources that you can use for yourself if you want to kind of iterate with me. We may or may not cover this whole thing, but I can kind of show you what we're going to be covering. So I feel like the first thing, that we're going to like kind of try to check out is like the problem that I was trying to solve for me was the fact that I am a content creator and I actually needed to get transcripts for my videos. So I made an open source version for myself so that I can get these transcripts from my videos. And I did that with the MLX video transcriber. And this actually was an interesting project because I needed something to just kind of run locally on my device. And it actually ended up getting so much attention that it now has about almost 400 stars on GitHub, and it's completely free. And so people can use this. And basically what it does, when I posted this on X, it got about 20,000 views. And it was just like my first signal into what, people could actually want from something like this. Completely free, and you could just use this to transcribe. And as you can see, I had like the best powered machine here, and this one actually took a very long time to run on the best powered machine. And then I started to get a lot of comments on YouTube and saying like, hey, is there a Windows version? And I was like, what is Windows? You guys use Windows? Why? Why do you want this pain? And then it turns out like most of the world actually uses Windows and stuff. So be that as it may, so I thought, okay, I'm going to make an actual version that would actually work on Windows, and it would work, maybe see if I can source some cloud providers. And at that time, 6 months ago, I found that Grok has this Whisper model that's hosted, that's actually even more accurate than what I was running locally, and it's even incredibly fast. So I was able to transcribe basically 2 hours of video in about 80 seconds using this technique, and I totally vibe coded this back in August. So this was before vibe coding was a thing, using V0, and came up with this prototype. Since then, I've had a lot of people who have given me feedback, who've used the app and stuff. So just kind of going over some of that feedback that I kind of want to tell you. I think some of the feedback that the customers said that they just said, hey, I just did my first transcription from Mike Bird, who's also currently watching. Big shout outs to Mike Bird. How's it going, Mike? Also watching the stream. Definitely appreciate you kind of tuning in as well. Definitely with the cooking outfit. But yeah, you got to try the app. It was super fast, really clean interface here. And some other people were saying like, hey, this is awesome. It actually worked. Opened up the console, added it. People who were actually transcribing podcasts found out that it worked really fast for them. Somebody was even paying $150 per month. And they're like, I need to shift my whole thing into this thing because it's already working. It's really fast. And then somebody else says that it works much better than what they found in DaVinci Resolve. And it doesn't make the same kind of mistakes that the Resolve does. So that it must be like something dealing with the model there. And then plus the blazing speed makes it so sweet to use. So this is already kind of giving me a lot of signal here that as a content creator, this market is possibly underserved because I couldn't really find a really good solution. And the stuff that was out there, while it costs money, it was really slow and it wasn't that accurate. And one of the advantages of getting timestamps and especially getting your transcripts into YouTube is the fact that they'll rank your video a lot higher because it takes them about a week sometimes to process these transcripts. It could take even a day if you're like a popular creator. And what that means is that they don't get to process your video and do audience matching. So what they'll do with this transcript is then push your video out to the right audience if you have it available almost immediately. So I thought, that's interesting. There's definitely a market here for this type of thing. I'm already using this myself. I've let people now use this and they've been giving me feedback. And for whatever reason, 6 months ago, I never decided to pursue this idea because I was just trying to be a content creator, I guess. And I thought, well, I actually really want to be an entrepreneur. And I think this is a perfect time to do this, especially with the 100K challenge. And I need to grow myself. Like this part of me was not really comfortable growing and trying to like run a company or even just run with an idea. And so this is my challenge to help me grow as an entrepreneur. And you get to follow along. You're literally watching day one. So I really appreciate everyone who's been showing up right now in the comments. And this is kind of like, live stream style. And we're going to be doing vlogs and stuff. And we're just going to go. So as of right now, just a quick update. Ray Transcribes currently has about 3 paying customers. And the offering that I have right now at Ray Transcribes, if you go to raytranscribes.com, it's basically $6.99 a month. And I currently have this, all it does is pop over to a Stripe link. And so it does a Stripe checkout, and then I get a text message that someone has signed up, and then I manually add you to my app, and then you get access and so forth. So I say within 12 hours because I could be asleep when someone signs up. And I've had some other creators currently try this online and just have one type of thing. So the goal here for me, I think the immediate goal is to try to take this from 3 paying users to like 10, which would be kind of really cool. So if I can get 10 paying users would be really awesome. Right now, I'm actually just saying unlimited because I want to mostly learn from you. So if you want to do this, definitely hit me up and I want to schedule a call. If you want to do anything, I'm going to have a link in the description. Like, even if you just want to try it out and you're not really ready to commit, whatever, like I need to talk to you if you're a content creator. And if you're a content creator, I'm going to let you use this app so that I can build features for you and really learn about your whole workflow. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity in this space, and especially with this new AI agents and other types of stuff that can help us for research. Not only can we get the transcripts, but imagine transforming them into different types of content. Imagine trying to think about, your overall plan for writing new scripts using existing transcripts that you have from all of your other videos. There's a lot of different possibilities that can happen here, but I just don't want to build something, like I said, focusing on product. I want to more focus on the problem. So like, what are the problems that you have if you're a content creator? Hit me up. I'll have a link in the description. I'm also on X as well. And so I also wanted to share a story about Sherry before we kind of get into some other things too, because I feel like this episode, as a live stream, there's a lot to go on, and a lot of us are trying to figure out how do we make money using these AI apps, and many of us are in the similar journey. So I just learned about Sherry Jiang, and she's based off of in Singapore and San Francisco. So she made an app called Peak Money, and it's got a really cute like website and stuff to it because like the flow is like really, really nice. And she's basically was building in public. So in April 20th, 2025 was her day one adventure to try to get, to 10K downloads and stuff forth. And so actually before that, she started March 5th, 2025 was her actually first day of just building the finance app. She's like, I want to build an app, the next big personal finance app. So she basically set to build this out. And she started, and it's still, this post only has like 500 something views. And this from there, she was just kind of posting updates every day about kind of what she was building. And then eventually launched on Product Hunt and became number one. And then from there, she's now going to basically grow the app and started a new challenge to go path to 10K in 30 days. So she's doing that, and she's already done that already. So this is super inspiring for me because literally I'm going to be like following in her footsteps in a funny way. And this is going to help me grow and hopefully help you grow as well. And if you want to start this challenge, I definitely would encourage you to do that as well. So yeah, definitely that's what's up. And so, okay, so where are we at and kind of what are the next steps that Ray needs to do here? So as far as, customer segment, I need to kind of sketch out, according to the Lean startup, they have like this little like Lean canvas that we can kind of fill out. To figure out like who's screaming the loudest, like what's the actual pain point that people are having with exact quotes. And then like where can we like show viewers with a quick Google search and so forth. And so one of the research tools that I can use, like the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to use a lot of AI tools. So with this age of AI, what's different than what's happened before is apparently people used to hire consultants and pay lots of money, but that's why we have AI. And if AI is supposed to replace people, this is really going to be a really good litmus test for us to go through and use these different AI tools. And I already pay $200 a month to to ChatGPT. So I have access to the O3 model. So I'm going to do some research by literally combining these different ideas. And this is going to be kind of a way to guide us through this valley of all this craziness going in together. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can have OpenAI, see if it can do this research for me. So let's see if we can kind of do this here. So fill in chatgpt.com. Help me with my 100K challenge so we can fill out this lean canvas and then paste this thing in here. So because ChatGPT has a lot of, one of the advantages of OpenAI is this thing called memory. So whenever you're talking to ChatGPT, it builds a memory and it has a history of all my chats. So I've been talking about the 100K challenge like crazy, and O3 model, which is the most powerful model from OpenAI, is literally going through all of my chats and then understanding it already now understands what I'm talking about. And then I've just giving it the lean canvas thing, which also knows what it's talking about. And so it's basically trying to figure out like, so the customer segment are pro podcasters and long form YouTubers shipping 60 plus minutes episodes weekly. So I need to go seek these people out, solo video creators and course content creators as well. So that's really interesting. So the top 3 problems, like they already did research on Reddit. This is crazy actually. Wow. So the transcription quality is abysmal. We literally have to correct line by line. Damn, that's interesting. So let me click this. Wow, this is crazy. So this is from Descript a year ago. Wow. Oh my God. This is gold. This is absolutely gold. Wow. During peak times, recordings may require extra processing time for Otter.ai. Wow. That's amazing. Huh. Wow, this is really wild. This is super duper helpful. Can't afford Otter.ai anymore. Any alternatives? Huh. Yo, this is really fun actually. I used to use Otter.ai for transcripts for years, but unfortunately it's becoming unaffordable. I use only the basic feature of uploading audio, transcribing, and exporting the transcript. It's becoming unaffordable because sometimes I upload more than 10 audio files a month. So to upload unlimited, I now need to pay for their business plan, which is too expensive. So what does Otter.ai charge? I'm really curious now. So pricing? $20 a month. Okay. So it used to be free. And then the pro is, I guess, 1,200 transcript minutes or 90 minutes per conversation. So that's 10 audio videos per month. Oh, I see. And then the admins have like more of these, like 6,000. Oh, that's quite a bit. Oh, they figured that you must be a business. That's the yearly pricing, by the way. So you have to prepay for a year, which most people probably aren't going to prepay for a whole year for transcription. I would think maybe because that's quite a bit of money. So if we go to the monthly pricing, that's, oh my God, like $17 a month. Wow. Okay. And then the $30 a month for the business, if you're just going to be paying like a one-time use. That is really, really interesting. Holy smokes. That's amazing. Huge shout out to Sagram. Thank you for joining. Also, thank you. What's up, man? Tech friend, what's going on, man? Let him cook. Appreciate this. Yes. RIP Windows. Sans the man. Thank you for the codes for Spawn. I really, I've tried the app and would love you to review it. Yes. We're in this together. Huge shout out to Tool Use. I love you guys, Tool Use. I've been on their podcast, which is really, really awesome. So huge shout out to Ty and Mike Bird as well. Ardra. Awesome. Thank you for becoming a member, Ardra. You currently have a little membership badge and kind of be able to show up there. So annual subscriptions don't make as much sense in the AI age. Too much change and uncertainty. I agree. Yeah, there's so much change and so much craziness going on. It'd be interesting to see. I'm going to share. I have this idea. And when I was listening to the podcast from the guy who wrote that book, Lean Startup, one of the ideas I thought was really, really genius was this. He said, instead of making the app like part of the subscription, maybe charge like a one-time fee of, $49 or $100 to solve a specific pain point in this like customer creator flow. And so, for example, like if I want to teach content creators how to get transcripts and turn them into blog posts or turn them into emails or something like that, or make an app to do something, like for example, here, join this workshop for $69. You can pay and I'll sit down with you for like a couple of hours as a group session and we'll make an app that will literally like, turn your transcripts into, blog posts and Slack messages or whatever the thing is, right? So I'll make up some type of offer. And so literally it's just a workshop. And in the workshop, I'll teach people how to grab their content and put it into my app. And then from there, we'll grab that and do the other steps. And by the end of the workshop, you can say, okay, now you're on your own. If they want access to the app, it'll tell me if they need it. If they don't need it, then maybe I'm just kind of focused on the wrong pain point. But it does two things. One, it generates revenue for you. But two, it tells you like, because people are paying, there's definitely a problem here to solve. So you can test different things. But by focusing on maybe one avenue of this creator workflow that I can give it for value in exchange for these people's time, I think it could be well worth it. Sometimes I forget because I'm just so used to building and doing stuff that I think everyone else can do it. And I forget that people are just still starting out, especially with AI, because it's very confusing. And so by saving people time and doing some type of workshop, to me, that can get me a lot of input and allow me to figure out what products or tools can I build for this community, right? So I think this is kind of like an interesting discovery, right? Because it's not really that clear to me. And that's kind of what can differentiate somebody who makes like one specific tool to making like a whole ecosystem that involves, but I'm not trying to make a big ecosystem. I'm really trying to keep things as simple as possible, especially for this challenge. And we're still kind of doing this little exploratory of like, what is the problem that we're solving? And then we've already used ChatGPT to kind of give us some insight of like what people are saying on Reddit and then the why, right? So this is really interesting to me. I feel like it's helping me a lot with this type of thing. Otter is not as good as Whisperflow. I love Whisperflow, and that's what I use a lot right now. I literally hit a button and talk to it and just, transform my text into different things. So, so too much to charge, too much uncertainty. I'm a PM and use Otto and was surprised you don't keep up with Ray Transcriptions and excellent file system, and your app can be powerful. Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to really do right now. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity for my app. And there's probably a lot of people who aren't even aware that I do these different types of things. So I'm kind of exploring what this space is and how I can start kind of going in to build some more value and stuff. Yeah. I think that could be really, really cool. I feel like people can like dump files and do different stuff in here. So this is really interesting use case so far for me kind of taking a look and seeing what space and lane I can carve out. Because I feel like once I get focused on the code part, that'll be kind of the easy thing. But the business thing is hard. This is completely new to me, and we're using ChatGPT for this type of research. So this person said, I can't afford Otter.ai anymore. Any alternatives? That's just really interesting. Did anyone give any alternatives to this guy? Riverside. This is a good free one, transcription. Interesting. So transcribe now. You just drag a file or upload it. Let's see if I upload like one of my streams, does it do it? So this is a like 2-hour stream. This is an interview, I think. I am human. Start transcribing. So it's taking some time here. Okay. So Riverside has this thing and I don't know exactly what it's doing. Is it going to upload my stream? See how long it takes? So I'll show you something real quick. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to leave their thing over here on the side. And then I'll show you how fast mine is. So we're literally going to take the same live stream, app.Ray Transcribes, and then I'll show you exactly this exact thing. So this is my 2-hour stream, and I'm going to upload. And then we're just going to do the fast English here and generate transcripts. And so here we go. I'm processing the audio. Yeah, I'm really surprised. Like, well, for Riverside, for it being, it's free, right? So people have time for free. And, you know, it's a 2-hour live stream. So like you saw, it's 2 GB file. And so in this same time, I'll have all of the audio processed and transcribed and sent back. Probably before they even reach like 30%, I would assume. This is amazing how slow it is. But it's good to use this type of thing. Do I use Whisper? Yes, I use a Whisper model, and it's Whisper Large V3, which is really, really good and really accurate. And there's the multilingual one, and I also use the turbo model. So it just depends on, like, I'm still trying to learn how accurate and what do people really want so that I can better serve them. All of them are incredibly fast. So yeah, we're taking this 2-hour live stream. It should be done in like less than 80 seconds or so. We'll see. So yeah, once it's done processing, it should be chill. So let's see. Are you taking the upload as a stream and started transcribing instantly? Kind of. Yeah, I do some pre-processing to it. And I'm using like, yeah, technically I'm doing a lot under the hood with like WebAssembly and FFmpeg and also some other things with because you're kind of limited as far as like how big of a WebSocket thing you can leave open to stream up and stream back. So I have to do some chunking as well depending on the size. So yeah, there's all these different types of things. So you see for this one I have to chunk the file, and this guy is still at 18. See, I'm already done. This is my entire 2-hour live stream. Like already done. So you download the text file, download SRT, download VTT. So let me see if I could show you what this kind of looks like. So the SRT file looks something like this. So this is already ready to go on YouTube. And so this is 16,811 lines. And as you can see, like each of these have like the very accurate timestamps. And what I also did was that I made it a certain length. So it's no more than, I think it's like 42 characters according to like some closed caption standard. This is kind of the way that I roll. And so I basically go through, once I get the transcript, I do additional processing on it. And then basically, you know, I kind of, from a computer science standpoint, you know, generate like a specific like array. And then I go through and map each one and do a calculation of like, okay, for this line, it looks like it's 5 seconds. And then if I want it 42 characters, I kind of have to do a calculation of how long each line takes to run and then recalculate it and kind of reformat it. There's a lot of extra sauce that goes in here, but I was really thoughtful in terms of how I wanted to do this type of thing. I think when I did my live stream, I just kind of YOLO'd it in cursor, but I wrote those instructions in there as far as like how I wanted to perform this procedure. And that was like 6 months ago or so. And the source code is actually available in my free transcriber. For if you look up Apple MLX transcriber by Ray Fernando, you'll see it. I wrote this in Python and then I translated that into TypeScript. And so that's kind of what I'm using for my app. It's just one part of the post processing that you see here. So that's kind of this guy here. And we're still uploading the file. I don't know what it's doing here. Yeah. So we'll see what Riverside comes up. I'll let Riverside chill for a little bit. But yeah, that's basically my app in a nutshell. And basically I'm using Clerk. So for those who don't know, clerk.com. I use Clerk for authentication, and I really avoided authentication till like the very last step. Right now I don't even have a database set up, and I'm trying to avoid all of this stuff because I'm just trying to get to MVP status. You know, just like, can I test something? Can I get something that works? What's nice about the way that Clerk works is basically it's free until you get 10,000 monthly active users. And then from there, you just pay $25 per month, if at all. So like my first goal is just to get paying users. I'm already getting 3 paying users from this. So that's pretty cool. Actually, No Code Dan is one of my paid subscribers. It's not faster than Ray Transcribes. Yeah, for sure. I think he's actually the one that's using this right now. So yeah, are you taking the upload to stream? Okay. What's up, Ray? Coming in late, but I'm ready for the 100K journey. Thank you so much for joining in, No Code Dan. Yeah, you're my inspiration, man. I'm glad that you're actually using my app. And I had an interview with Dan. I'll probably share some of the like interviews as far as like what we talked about, because this is kind of going into like what I'm going to be building. So yeah, I have a working prototype basically. It's really fast, but here's the thing that I'm not trying to get caught up on right now is just kind of like we talked about earlier. It's like, it's so easy to get caught up in your own product, right? I'm getting high off my own supply. Like, oh my God, my ego, like this is fast. It has my name in it. Like everything's on the line. But in reality, I kind of shouldn't really care, right? It shouldn't really matter whether it's fast or slow, right? Like, does it get the job done? Is this a powerful like pain point problem that people are going to be willing to put money out for? I mean, according to Reddit, some people are already looking for different solutions. I don't think they even mentioned speed, but we'll see. I think that's kind of maybe an afterthought, right? So it's like, I think this is kind of why I really I'm documenting this, because what we think, like I want to be, you know, maybe 100 videos in and be like, yeah, man, we learned so much. Can you believe we thought speed was a big deal, but people really cared about accuracy or something really dumb that we just totally overlooked, is kind of possibly what can happen here. So yeah, that's Otter. That's Otter.ai. That's this. And so, okay. Existing alternatives. What pops in a 5-second Google search? Okay, so Descript. Okay, so people look up, and this is exactly what shows up. Descript, Otter.ai, Rev, Sonics, Cast Magic, YouTube app captions, DIY, interns in Google Docs with Upwork freelancers, pro tip on stream, literally Google fast transcription, and scroll through that list. Let's do this. So fast video transcription, Sonics comes up. Riverside, Descript, nearly instant, TubeScribe, V.io, Restream. Does anyone know of a free automatic transcription? Okay. So interesting. AI analysis, share in public, collaborate with teams, pricing. So annual, I like to do annual and monthly. So from an annual perspective, is $16.50 per month if you prepay for a year. And then the AI transcription is $5 per hour. AI translation is $3 per hour. Yo, that's crazy. Media storage is 100 gigs. So I have a 2 gigabyte file from that 2-hour live stream. Dang. Okay. Single user only. So it looks like users are an interesting thing. So sometimes people have like, if you're a podcaster, you could have a team of people you give a link to do this. That's interesting. It's also about branding. As a former brand manager, your product is excellent. I would name something else like Ray Scribe with a cool logo. Yourself as a wizard with a scribe, but excellent idea. Yeah. I think that's a cool idea. I'm open to anything right now. Just trying to learn about this space. I feel like I don't really know enough about this space. So I kind of have to know like what offerings are out there, but also talk to people as well because, I'm kind of focused on content creators. And to me, this doesn't look content creator like, this looks very business like because you see like this person sitting here and this girl talking to me and like, I don't know, I feel like I probably have to have Dan back on the show or something. And like, we'll have to do like an interview because I think he's a content creator in the education space and he's going to tell me a lot about his workflow. Right. So this is an interesting for Descript. They actually have the transcription in this little workflow here. But I think this is mostly for video editing actually. And they only give you 30 transcription hours a month. Huh. That's interesting. Export 4K. Dude, that's crazy. Okay. And then TurboScribe is 3 free transcripts daily, no credit card required, $10 a month for yearly or $20 a month monthly. Okay. So what's their models here? Whisper Base, Whisper Small, and then Whisper Large V2. Oh, so they're not even using the latest V3 models. So these are really, really inaccurate then. Wow. Huh. Recognize speakers. Yeah. Wow. Okay. It'd be interesting to hear what people say. Fast transcription, transcribe now. What's their pricing for Veed? I like this site. So this is the annual discount. If we take it off, damn, $24 a month or $55 a month. Wow, this space is like ripe for disruption. I swear. Everything in light, 50 languages, ultra HD exports, but I guess this is beyond audio. This must be video. So I think this is dealing with like video, but I was looking for transcription. Interesting. Yeah, this is video editing, but I guess they do transcription as part of that. Yeah, so I feel like either people are right now like in the video space, like doing video, like Descript and these other ones, and they're kind of competing on those prices, but they're not like in the, I already have videos and I need to get them transcribed type of thing, or you can already have a catalog and you want to get those transcribed. That seems to be like a different category that these people aren't speaking really to. So are they? I use Whisper Small and they're pretty accurate for a 70 megabyte model that runs on my phone. Is there a tangible difference between V2 and V3? Yes, there's a huge difference, especially when you're talking about tech topics like what I'm talking about on my live streams. I actually, you know what we should probably do? What I'm probably going to do is look up various people on Twitter who do content and like look at their subtitles or captions. Because that's actually what I did to get a couple people to try my app is literally I gave them the transcript. I said, hey, I used my app. I can give you access. Here's the better version of the transcripts. And then I gave them access to my app. And then like the next podcast, they basically ran it through and they're just like, dude, this is really fast. And it's actually very accurate. And so they kept using it until I took the app away from them. So I took the app away from them and then like they hit me up saying, when are you going to go back live with it? And then I think I was just kind of bumbling around. I didn't really get my act together. So I'm going to hit them back up and then tell them that I'm kind of really trying to make this a real thing. So I think that's going to be probably a lot better there to do that. So 100% it's better with more recent topics like Anthropic's Claude, DeepSeek. That's right. So another thing too is like the recent terminology makes a big difference because V2 for Whisper was probably done in like the 2021, 22 era. And it doesn't have all the latest terminology as well, especially for long videos for like 1 to 2 hours. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point, Dan, as well. So you were looking at some of the offerings here. So then the other one is, I think, called Restream. So Restream has these different plans that are just ridiculously high. And I think it's more for streaming of content, Restream.io. And I think they have this transcription part, transcribe video to text. So they have a free offering here. Can I choose this file? Okay, 1.09 gigabytes. Let's transcribe. see here. Make this a little bit bigger. Uploading. Okay, so I think they all have to like kind of upload. That's interesting. So yeah, this one is still waiting. So from Riverside FM, we uploaded this a while back, and then it says it's transcribing is still at 0%. So it took a little while to like upload the video, and now they're going to do some type of transcription on their end. So, wow. Okay. That's interesting. And that's probably what's going to happen here too. And I think this is like a progress bar. I'm not really sure. Huh. I see this uploading thing. Wow. Okay. Let's go to this Reddit post. Does anyone know of a free automatic transcription software? YouTube sometimes takes 5 days to transcribe it, and I just wanted something to be more reliable. Everything costs money. Ha ha ha. I can't afford money. So these people posted similar things of what we saw when we searched for. Okay. Vibe is free, open source, supports Windows, Mac, Linux. Okay. What's Vibe? This is like someone's GitHub website. Okay. Star on GitHub. So this is like a GitHub project. Offline, OpenAI Whisper. Okay, so it loads the model in the browser, and it has the support for everything. That's pretty cool. So, okay. Awesome. Let's see how well it works for, does it work? How do I get this to run? No? Download for Mac OS. Support vibes, docs. Oh, okay. So it runs the model locally on the device, and we have to set it up using all these different types of things to download the model and then load it. Yeah, try to give this to a content creator. And I like, this is kind of where it stops for me. I feel like this is cool, like if you're a developer, but I feel like this is asking too much. Wow. Okay. Yeah, this will probably work if you're trying to do that type of thing. Okay, so we've explored a lot of different things here as far as like customer pain points, and just as you know, I think that's kind of why I started to want to make this app, was because as a content creator, I'm so glad I can actually write software as well, because if I didn't, this would be a huge problem. Like, this is a massive pain point. One is like, I could follow all these steps as a content creator, like figure out how to do these Linux unzips and installs type of things, you know, on my Mac, and then download this model, and then wait. If you have like a MacBook Air, it could take you a while. You may not even get the accuracy that you want, and you don't even know why, right? And then there's all these other paid solutions that still take quite a bit of time. We're still trying to transcribe the Riverside FM one, and then we've uploaded something from onto this other one. I don't remember who that is. And so we're trying that out, and it's still going. So my offering that I already have as an MVP works, and it's extremely fast. It works for really long files. It works for 100 different languages. And we're using the best and latest Whisper model as well. So also, like, that's just kind of me focusing on the product side of things. The pain point is really interesting when I look up on Reddit and seeing what people talk about as far as like what they're looking for. They're basically looking for fast, cheap, and easy, right? I feel like if like those are the kind of three things that I was able to pull out from this thing. It's like, is it fast? I actually don't think they say fast. I think they're just looking for cheaper and easy, right? So I think people are willing to wait if it's kind of like that. So that's interesting. Also, it's kind of like an evergreen. As like a model gets better and cheaper, your app will get stronger. I see. Yeah. So I think it's just a matter of trying to get people to use it, kind of stay in the ecosystem. And as models get better, kind of doing that type of thing. With how fast that is, I would say that's a good market, is achieving podcasts that have large libraries. That's an interesting thing. So like, go to Lex Friedman and see if I can make a script to download all of them and transcribe them, say, yo, here's all your stuff. That could be really interesting. And then vectorize it. That can also be an interesting thing. To vectorize, this person's talking about basically creating an index so that AI can crawl over it. And vectorizing technique basically just kind of creates it so that you can sort of, rank things based off of specific words and meaning. And that's, vectorizing is a whole like science of trying to search for meaning, and requires a multi-step thing. So it could be something that I could explore in the future. I'm not really trying to go into it right now. I'm just kind of in this earlier phase of discovery and looking at, okay, can I get from more than 3 users to maybe 10? And then if they are, where are they and how can I make it kind of known? So that's good luck going to be listening. Can't wait to stream like you this year. Yeah, hit me up. Like let's get this thing going. So I think it'll be really interesting once we get kind of going to get joining on the streams here. So I think we'll create a couple different tasks here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, if you go to Fernando.ai on my website, I actually have like the live stream challenge episode. So like the first big mistake is kind of what we're watching right now. And this QR code was for those who are watching. So if you're watching on a TV, let me show you this right now. So that way you can scan this. Because sometimes I find it easier to scan as opposed to doing the thing. So if you scan this code right now, this should basically take you to this exact blog post on Fernando.ai. And then you should be able to kind of see exactly what we're talking about here. So what I did was I kind of laid out this thing called the lean canvas. And this was basically talking about like the big problem, like how do we focus on the problem and the solutions and see if we can actually do any market research. And then we use ChatGPT to help us with that research so that we can kind of get these types of things going. And so I want to, step 2 is basically build a traction roadmap. So I'm basically trying to do is like, I need to get 10 interviews booked from this demographic. So I want to go ahead and start. I use cal.com to create my bookings. So cal.com, if you don't know, it's like Calendly, but it's open source and it's free, literally free. So if you go to pricing, with the free, you just have one user, which is yourself, unlimited calendars, unlimited events, workflows, and all that stuff. And you could accept Stripe payments. That is crazy. So cal.com, instead of, if you go to Calendly, so Calendly, which people use for links, if you go to pricing, there's always free, but it only connects to one calendar. And there's no Stripe links and stuff like that. If you want to do that, you have to connect, you have to pay $10 a month to connect Stripe. And then do multiple calendars and unlimited event types and all this other stuff. So I don't do Calendly, I do cal.com. And then within here, I should be able to create a link. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is like, I think if I kind of sign in and get started here, let me see if I can kind of get signed in so that I can kind of show you what this looks like. Because to me, this is like really important to try to get information as far as like potential customers. So if you're watching this and you're a content creator and you want to try my app, I'm going to give you a Cal link below. And it will be in my description. I also have it here in the live stream. I'm also going to put it on Fernando.ai. I want to like have a meeting with you and I kind of want to see you take a video and kind of put it through my system. And I want to have a chat because I want to basically not only make my app, but make it like actually better than what it is right now, or kind of figure out, what is your problem? How can I solve this better right now? So if I go to cal.com, app.cal.com, and I'm just kind of trying to get this loading up here. So that way we'll get something going on. So I think what I could just do is set up a Ray Transcribes event. So I'm going to hit new. And then what I'm going to do here, I don't think this lets me zoom in. Okay. Let's see if I could do this here. So in here, I can add a new event type by going to new. And then from here, I'm basically saying, Ray Transcribes. And so it'll be cal.com/RayFernando/Ray Transcribes. And then from there, we should basically be able to get a meeting note here. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish this up here just so that it doesn't really blow up. So my meeting will be like 30 minutes because I want to talk to you. Ray Transcribes, continue. Availability. I think I want to edit the availability so that basically should be available anytime. And then let's see, edit availability. So we'll have, let's see, I think priority chat set as default. Okay, so bookings, event types, just trying to make sure I don't show anything that is private, just so that we have that here. But for those who are just watching, basically I'm setting up cal.com and then creating a new calendar type. And this is going to basically be my key to get people to get in and kind of talk to me, because that's kind of what I want to do. You know what I mean? So I want people to be able to reach out and kind of have a chat with me in terms of like, you know, what their problems are and what's going on there. So if I click yes, and then go here. Perfect. Okay. So now I should have, so if I go cal.com/Ray Fernando/Ray Transcribes, I should now have this like calendar link that basically will allow people to book time. So today's Friday. I don't have anything for Saturday, but maybe I should turn that on as well. I feel like I should have like every day turned on so that people can talk to me. And that way I will be able to kind of get this going. But my goal really is to, you know, according to our plan here, is to try to see if I can actually get multiple people to sign up. So like I need at least 10 interviews booked so that I can talk to enough people to use the app and then get maybe 10 paid early adopters from there. So I think some of that feedback could be very, very helpful. Let me go ahead and just drop this here in the chat. So if you're watching right now, I've just dropped a link in the live stream chat, which you'll be able to see here. And that'll allow you to basically book some time with me. So definitely find a time on there. If you are on X, go to x.com and you can go Ray Fernando 1337. So on my profile, just go ahead and send me a DM. You have to be verified in order to send me a DM. And that's kind of how you're able to get to me. And yeah, send me a DM saying, hey, I want to try this out. I really want to be a part of this type of thing. I am a content creator and I want to, you know, I think I could use this app. If you know any podcasters or know anyone who's working in this space, hit me up. Like I really would appreciate that if you hit me up. It says system audio muted. Can you hear me right now? I think you should be able to hear me. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. If you know any podcasters in this space, definitely hit me up. If you know anyone who makes video or content creation who needs these transcripts, definitely hit me up. You know, let me know, and I'd love to reach out to them. I also want to see if I can find some people on X as well who do content creation and see if I can say, hey, I make an app and I'd love to see if I can actually have you, you know, test it out as an early adopter and so forth. So let's see. Can I run an idea by you? So in one line, drag and drop canvas that ingests a webinar blog chains AI nodes to split out on-brand posts, images, teaser clips. The guy, if you can show me something, I think it would kind of make a little more sense. Right now, I kind of really can't see it or visualize it. But let me see if I can kind of try to understand. So like you're saying you want basically a drag and drop canvas that ingests a webinar blog. Okay, so you want to just give it like a link to a blog post, and then it just makes these little nodes. And these nodes basically spit out like the brand, like image and teaser clips and just like a content creator type of thing. Is that kind of what you're looking for? Like take content and then have it generate new content from it. Yeah. I would say book a time slot with me and just show me a workflow that you're doing in that time slot so that I can kind of understand what it is you're asking for. I think that's going to be much more helpful for me. If I want to see what you're doing to like, that makes you want to generate this, if you know what I mean. So that's going to be way more helpful for me. And that can actually help me because another reason kind of why I'm starting with this transcription thing is that one, it looks kind of simple. It kind of is simpler. It's simple than a lot of different problems. Two, there's like sort of an underserved market with content creators because it takes a lot. Like content creators don't necessarily write software like the way that I do. And so it's rare to kind of have a blend of both. And usually what I'm discovering, even though I write software, now that I'm doing content, a lot of my time is now focused on writing content, producing content, making sure lighting's good, setting up all these different things, so, you know, doing some video editing and all that stuff. And I don't have a lot of time to code. So to think about making a tool as a content creator is already a big pain. And if you don't even know how to code, it's just like, it's totally not even in the books. So transcriptions is a really like what I call like a gateway drug into, you know, how do you get content into text? And then with these language models, how can they do some processing on them to do some other cool stuff? Similar to what the guy 12 was saying basically. It's like, hey, I'd love to be able to kind of dump something in and kind of get some other stuff out. Have loved all the comments who are streaming in, by the way. So if you're just checking this out and you're kind of watching right now, we're about 49 minutes in, and we're watching the very beginnings of my 100K challenge live. So in my 100K challenge, the goal is to try to make my first 100K online. And you're watching the very beginnings of this, of how we do it. So the first mistakes that founders tend to do, especially like me, is focus on the product first before I focus on what the problems are. So naturally, I guess what I have done so far is, like, as a content creator, I needed something to transcribe my videos. And so I vibe coded this app 6 months ago before vibe coding was a thing. And I came up with this thing called Ray Transcribes. And I kind of left it there. And I wanted to focus on my content creation and kind of left my entrepreneurial bags, somewhere, and kind of said, hey, entrepreneurialism is hard. I'm going to try that, figure that stuff out later on. So now that things have come full circle, I want to grow as an individual, and I actually want to make my first money online, as far as like getting to something really, really serious, to 100K. If I had to choose between like going back to work at like a corporate company or making money on my own, I would definitely, like center on making money on my own, being my own entrepreneur. And so with that actually comes a lot of challenges to grow as a content creator myself, but also like as a person who's an engineer, and push myself in ways that I've never been pushed before. So you're following along, and I really appreciate it. If you haven't had a chance to, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And then when you go into the subscribe, there's a little bell icon that you can click, and make sure you say, I want all of the notifications. That way, when I go live, you'll actually get notified when, Ray is actually live, which is pretty cool. My goal is to have at least 1 to 2 live streams a week. I'm trying to maybe even do them every day if possible. And so that way we can kind of come hang out and you can catch up on my progress. I'm also going to have vlogs as well. So I'll have recorded vlogs and I'll give you updates. Like, here's what's happened this past week. And so that'll kind of fill in some of those details in case you can't really catch the lives. The lives are kind of more free flow. So you'll see me kind of have these works in progress type of things. And then the vlogs will just be kind of a much more condensed down idea of what I'm going to be talking about, or maybe what are the things that we covered in the last couple of live sessions. So that's kind of the way I'm planning to have this whole layout here, and definitely appreciate everyone who's been able to join in. So yes, it would be awesome if we can learn faster from your YouTube videos. Yeah, I agree. I think, having vlogs are going to be very, very helpful. I'm also going to be starting a membership soon. So I'm still trying to figure what this is, because I want to have like what I call the 100K vault. And so the vault will basically have the stuff that I'm posting on my blog that you see there, but just in one area where you can just go ahead and download all the different Notion templates, all the different things that we've been talking about. So they're going to be useful for you, because I can imagine someone joining on day 100 or episode 100, and they're just like, I'm not going to go back through all those videos. It's just easier to just join the vault. You'll get access to a Discord community. And part of this, I'm actually having my brother, John Fernando. He's actually my brother. He's kind of in and out of work right now. And so I actually bought him a computer so he can learn video editing. And so he's going to try to take some of my live streams and kind of cut them up as well. And so basically whatever the membership stuff, people who sign up for the Vault membership will be helping kind of, pay for him to edit the videos, but also kind of provide some income for him, because he won't be able to get back to work for another like 4 to 5 months or so, because the company's going through some weird stuff, and things are kind of weird and slow right now. He works in like the sound and communication field, and so just want to do something to kind of help him out. I feel like people will get a lot of value, and him taking the time to kind of cut through and learn the video editing and publish stuff out there would be very helpful for everyone. So that's a little bit of kind of that background, a little bit of stuff that a little bit more about me. So kind of hopping back into things, let's kind of see where we're at right now. So we have step 1 kind of outlined and filled out. We have step 2, like to get attraction. So I basically have created now a cal.com link, and that's kind of what I've linked below here. And so that's cal.com/Ray Fernando /Ray Transcribes. What I'm going to go ahead and do, I use this thing called Dub.sh or Dub.co. I should have a referral link, because they do have a referral. I think I can get people to refer.com/ I'm going to copy this and put this in here. So I'm going to tell you about this, because this is really, really cool. I'm going to put this in my vlog as well, my Notion document. So as far as like link tracking, so I'm going to say referral links, important links. So links, I'm going to put this here. URL. Okay. And then the other one. So in what I use Dub for is basically it's a link tracking system. And what's great about this link tracking system is the fact that I can track like what people, what links people are clicking and like where they're coming from. So I made a blog post and I posted this on X. And so with this thing here, you can actually see like in the last 30 days, like this is like the post kind of went viral because it got almost like 500,000 views on X. And so I could see, wow, like 24% of my audience clicked from the US and then 7.8 came from India. And on top of that, like, you know, where are these people referred to? Like, did other people share the link to other places? And then like, you know, where does this go as well? So I can see what popular cities people are clicking from, like regions as well, like California and so forth. And so I actually find this extremely valuable, especially if you're someone who's just trying to track like conversions, because you want to know like where your target demographic is. And I'm going to be using this all throughout the challenge because tracking this type of stuff, from what I've learned, is pretty important. So here, it does two things. So one is we'll be able to take this really long cal link and like shorten it out. So I can just do kind of this type of thing here and paste it. So I'm going to create a link. I'm going to paste this here. And so you see it actually generates a QR code, which is pretty cool. So with this QR code, I'm going to download as a JPEG. If I put this QR code on the screen, you can either scan the one that's currently on the screen or scan this one. So this QR code right now, if you're watching, will take you basically right to my calendar. So I'm going to move my head actually over here. So if you scan either of these codes, what it's going to do is basically take you to my calendar. And it's kind of cool that like this simple app can already have this type of thing. And so I have a certain URL to shorten. That's my name, basically Ray Fernando at rfer.me. And I'm going to say Ray Transcribes. So, okay. So this is probably like an easier link to get to my cal. So you can see rfer.me/transcribes, create link. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is add a UTM tag. So people came from my live stream. So that way I know that people who are watching are from my live stream. And then when I say copy link and I put it in here, now if you click this link, what ends up happening is that you'll actually go right to my calendar. So when I put it in here, you'll go right to my calendar. And what's nice about this Dub thing is this, you'll see here that, you know, one person has already clicked it, and that's basically me. So as people click it, you'll get to see, you know, basically almost in real time, you know, the number of people who show up and so forth. So yeah, that's me clicking the link and so forth, coming from the United States. So yeah, that's kind of cool, right? So this is a way for you to talk to me for 30 minutes. If you want to talk about, if you're a content creator or know someone who is a content creator who I can connect with, we're doing some research here to figure out like how we can, you know, my first step is to build traction, get 10 interviews booked, and then 10 paid early adopters. As of now, I have 3 paying existing customers. So I'm going to talk, I have some feedback from them that I'm going to go ahead and process as well, and try to like kind of bundle in and say, what are the common themes that they're looking at? What is it that they really want? Maybe I'll do a follow-up interview as well, and try to see if I can build some of those types of things for them. And then from there, we want like a satisfaction result of over 80%. So that I want people who, when I talk to them and they're using the app, that they're very satisfied. And that's how I know I have some traction in this space. And as far as like an acquisition channel, this is going to be really interesting. So growth fit, so CAC LTV. So this is customer acquisition cost and lifetime value numbers. For here is just going to be focusing literally on, so to hit phase 1, I don't need code, which is pretty cool. And that's why I think this is pretty cool right now. It's because we're not really writing code, but we're just really focusing on the problem, which is going to basically, you'll see how like, what I'm hoping is that this is going to help us like leapfrog a lot of competition. I already have code, which is nice. As an MVP, I was able to build that pretty fast. But as far as growth fit, I want to also kind of maybe on the live stream read some books or read some chapters from some books. One of the books that I read in the past was the $100 million offers from Alex Hormozy. And in that book, what he talks about is the sticking to one channel, one customer, one demographic, and just going all in on that. No, like trying to do like, okay, Facebook, Instagram, like TikTok marketing and like all this crazy stuff. It's figuring out, okay, where is this customer? Where are they at? And then going after them and then going after that same thing and just keep going and going and going. And he said, you can make your first $1 million that way, literally just from one channel, like one customer, one channel, one pipeline, you know, that's it, you know? And so I think it's really easy in the age of AI to kind of go complicated, but I'm going to kind of try to stick to that as well, to kind of simplify things. And this is a person who's already proven himself in business and is teaching others the same strategy. And they've already done that to reach those first $10 million. And so I don't see, if it works, to me, repeat it. Like I don't have to like reinvent the wheel here. And plus it saves stuff early. So then the last phase that we're going to go into that we're not going to cover today is going to just be like the how we go from week 0 to week 1 to week, you know, the rest of the week. So this is where we're at right now. This is kind of where we're going to be going, like some assumptions. So we already have some assumptions. And when I talk to some people, I'm going to learn some more about some of the assumptions and then kind of do some small bets. Like I have some, you know, a landing page already, I have some code, but just kind of double down on that and just kind of keep pushing that out there and try to find where these people are. I'm also going to try to see if I can reach out to content creators on YouTube and X and just hit them up saying, hey, I have this app that transcribes. I want to give you access. You know, will you do it? And I'm lucky because, you know, I literally started my account in August of 2023 and it's blown up like crazy because of me posting about content and using AI. And I think this is my sort of unfair advantage right now. But it doesn't mean that if you're starting out and you have zero, doesn't mean anything. Like my advice I would give to you if you're starting out right now and you have like 0 followers is kind of do what Sherry did, what we talked about earlier, where she was just literally posting as she's going and saying, this is day 0 and this is day 1. And like, this is kind of where I'm at, that type of thing. So just quick updates. And then sharing that, for me, the way I was able to grow is by sharing value back. So like I was literally sharing, this is how I code with Cursor and this is what I'm doing with Cursor and this is OpenAI and this is how I compare the two types of things. And that was very valuable to people because people are still trying to discover these AI tools. And so for me, if I were to start all over again, I had 0 audience, I would just walk people through an AI workflow, which is probably something I'll actually do. Maybe set up some of these workshops where, hey, if you want to join this workshop for this weekend, we're going to show you how to use these AI tools to get transcripts and then make new pieces of content from them, right? Or generate images using the new OpenAI API using your existing content, right? Or make some shorts or something like that. So any type of thing to get people in the door, to kind of get them to kind of solve a problem is value. So creating that value will help get followers, get some traction. And to me, it's probably, you know, why people have stuck around for a little while. So I'm hoping to deliver value here. So far, we've covered quite a bit as far as like the idea overall, and as far as like where I'm going, kind of what the market space currently looks like, and you know what I'm thinking as far as my app and maybe what that would solve. So kind of wrapping up a little bit, we were looking at Riverside and it's still at 0%. So like, to me, that's a massive L as far as like, you know, it not being able to really transcribe anything here. And then I think we were looking at some other transcribers like Restream, and this thing totally like, it says your file is ready. Let me go ahead and download. So at least Restream finished. So as far as transcriptions, I just gave us a text file. So this is a 2-hour live stream transcribed, but you notice there's actually no timestamps. It's just text. So like the text is cool, but you see like it's also not really that complete. So like I think want to make 100 space K and then we're at eat 30, like, you know, eat 30, the other hand. Yeah. XYZ 100K challenge. Yeah, it's kind of all over the place. I wonder what model they're using. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not really trying to get too like in the weeds yet. I really just need to talk to my customers or potential customers. And this is kind of what we're doing. Pumped up for this challenge. You got it, Ray. Can't wait for the next one. Yeah. This is kind of where we're cooking with right now as far as like where we're at with this challenge, kind of where like the first step is. And I'm going to continue building this. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity right here, especially in the content creator space. And yeah, my goal is to make it as easy as possible for these people to get this type of stuff out. It could be that I learned that transcriptions are like not even the most important thing, right? It's like this one step in many of this larger process. If I'm able to give this access for free for people just to learn, like the amount of money that I lose will probably be worth it in the longer run, because maybe I can pivot really quickly. And as someone who can write software and build really fast with AI, you'll get to see me spin something up really quickly and try to see if I can solve it for that demographic. And it may involve like transcriptions, but as far as like it's one step in many processes. So that would be very, very interesting to me. So yeah, that's what's up. So kind of going over again, if you want to check this stuff out, hit up Ray Transcribe. Hit up rayfernando.ai. On rayfernando.ai, I have the post already here called the 100K Challenge Episode 1. So from here, you'll basically be able to see the stuff that we're talking about. You can rewatch the live stream and then also check out the, as far as like what the steps in the layout we're doing here. So you can literally take some of this roadmap and like I was doing with ChatGPT, having ChatGPT fill it out for you, or do some deep research for you. Some of the other things that I feel like we're going to get into later on is this thing called Scout.new. So Scout.new, this is only for a small set of friends and family, but this is already starting to blow up. So by the time you see it, like somebody made a YouTube video about this, and like technically we weren't supposed to talk about it, but from the guys that did computer.new, these guys came up, they're like super cracked, I think early 20s. Basically, you could spit up a computer use agents and you have access to a full working VM, like loaded like in 30 seconds. And you have like a full file system and everything, and you can do automation with it. So literally you can do like web scraping, you can do everything. And this is running in a Ubuntu environment on AWS. And you can go to like google.com and like you could type stuff in, or you can just give prompts to, plan a trip and do stuff. And they'll literally do it for you, which is really, really insane. So I hit stop so that way I don't get billed for any more of this. But you can spin up not only the instance, but the web browser, and it has full web connectivity at like lightning speed. So you can do automations with it. These guys made up a thing called Scout.new. And basically for this, I call it the Manus Killer. You don't have to pay to get access. It's literally free. You can do research and you can create plans, and you can actually have it create code for you. So I actually had it create a Discord bot membership for me. So this actually went through in extreme amounts of detail. It took several hours, and it actually finished with the whole Discord bot. So this is normally what you would pay like $10 a month or so for someone to do these reaction roles. So like I just gave it the requirements from this Discord bot to like if people tap a reaction or do these type of things. So it does the research for me, and it made it so I can deploy it on Vercel, Railway, and Cloudflare. And it got, these are all the files that it generated. It generated like a whole project, a whole README, deployment scripts for that, environment variables, a Railway file, a Vercel file, like a Wrangler file as well. Did all the research and wrote all the code, even for the database and the migrations, all for free, which is absolutely insane. So it did this, it set up this 7-step process, which is kind of why I'm calling it the Manus Killer, because Manus doesn't even get to this type of detail. And so this is like an extra bonus. If you're sticking around for this far of the live stream, like this is a super duper bonus. I feel like I'm still always going to talk about AI tools, because I feel like as an engineer, we have to kind of stay on top of the latest and greatest tools. And I will still be covering them mostly in the ways like, can it help us do with building? And I like staying on top of these tools. You see how valuable they are. Because I actually am going to use them in my business to do this type of stuff. So this is what I'm preparing for as far as the community for the 100K challenge. I'm going to have this Discord bot that's going to be running in my in my thing. And this was created by Scout. I also had Scout do some like rich people problems with transcriptions. So it basically searched through different competitors and did this competitive research and created like a whole plan. And like it even did like scraping for transcription market analysis. This thing was like extremely extensive. So it looked up like Otter.ai's plans. It looked up like Rev.com's like pricing plans as well. It even sketched out like a feature roadmap for what I should be doing for my business. Like this is a lot of detail that I still need to review, but this is something I wanted to give you a heads up on for like the next episodes of like, how can we use some of these AI tools like this? And like what I was using with ChatGPT, this is the O3 model, so that we can go ahead and ask it questions and kind of generate this type of stuff. So a lot of sauce in here. Sans the man for sure. Yeah, good vibes here. Is like, man, we're just getting started. There's like so much that we can focus on, and I'm still trying to keep it so that like the 100K challenge is a good way for me to be like, okay, I have to optimize for the outcome of making sure I generate revenue, and that all the different things that I could do as far as like distractions and like other tooling and things I want to check out, I have to always check back in. Is like, is this going to help me with my mission for making that first 100K? If it's going to distract me, if like I have to vibe code games, then that means I'm not going to be getting towards my mission, which is to make my first 100K. So stay tuned for this, because this is going to be an ever evolving thing. I'm going to be hopping on lives just like this, and I'm going to continue doing this research. I'm going to continue, like for our next step, is basically try to see if I could reach out to people on X, send them DMs, see if I can get them to join and get on my calendar. So I want to post an update, say, okay, we just finished the live stream, and then now we have like 3 paying customers, you know, as of today. I have 0 people that I've interviewed. I hope by tomorrow I have 10 people lined up on my calendar. And then, you know, just kind of giving you those types of updates. I'm just going to keep dropping them every day, so you kind of know where I'm at. And then Fernando.ai is going to be where I have like some of these templates available. And then eventually I'll be dropping that 100K challenge vault, so that you guys can get like some access to some of the templates and stuff like that. So as of now, this is kind of what I've been cooking so far. And if you're enjoying this, definitely hit subscribe. If you want to join in on the challenge, definitely tag me or let me know on X or YouTube. And I'd love to follow along your journey and tell other people about it. I feel like this is our time to try to use these types of systems to, you know, make some sustainable income so that, you know, we can sustain and support ourselves. And so I definitely appreciate, big shout outs to the tool use folks who are participating and joining in. I love you guys. Ty and Mike, who are also doing those types of things. Vast CNC. Also, big shout outs to my members who have joined recently, and anyone who's been joining as a member. I have a $6.99 Let Me Cook subscription, which basically just allows you to participate in these live streams with a special tag. And then I'm going to be making some stickers on, so they can, you know, type the stickers in and so forth. And going to be making my vault to get access, so people can get access to the Discord as well. So big shout outs, and stay tuned for the next episode, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.